Rev up your engines for the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast with Big E. Proudly sponsored by Christensen Law, where bikers helping engine bikers is more than just a motto. It's our commitment to the biker community. Be sure to tune in and listen to the latest news and biker buzz. And for all your personal injury needs, be sure to contact the Christensen Law team at 248-900-9000. What's up, bikers? It's Big E, and you're listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. We're talking all things bikes, the freedom of the road, and the brotherhood that makes this lifestyle what it is. From killer tips to wild stories from the highway, we've got it all right here. Life is short, bikers, so let's get after it. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. So, a little bit behind the eight ball today. Had an impromptu run out of the state on late Tuesday night. We left at like 9:30. I don't know. It was late. Yeah, so we ran up across the bridge, got to Manistee and actually stopped for a couple hours and napped because we were both running on not much sleep from the night before. Got up, made our way to our appointment that we had, and it got postponed. So jumped back in the truck. Well, we did get a little distracted, but we stopped at a couple of my favorite Wisconsin Harley Davidsons. We weren't far south enough to stop at the House of Harley. Of course, that's like one of my all-time, every time I'm around there, I got to stop there. Of course, I did buy my Road Glide there, so there is that. But then my other favorite one is Docks. If you have not been to Docks, you have to stop at Docks. It is definitely a destination. There's all kinds of stuff to do there. They did kind of tick me off, though. I'm going to vent about this, I guess. I know the latest craze is, when you use the convenience of your debit cards or your credit cards, so you're not carrying cash, somehow we have to pay for that now. It's getting more common to see 4% charges put on stuff for you using your card and being, kind of convenient. So this is the first time I've ever had that 4% charge tacked onto a gift card. So they, of course, I had a $25 gift card, so they tacked on 4% for that, and then I ran the rest of it on my debit card, and they tacked on another 4% for that. Incredibly just ridiculous, in my opinion. But I guess, like, the credit card companies aren't making enough money off interest. I don't know. That's my little vent, my little tick off. So anyways, we went there. Then we stopped at the new Bald Eagle Harley Davidson in Escanaba. And that was pretty cool. I haven't been in there since they moved. Of course, they were in Marquette. But all their Bald Eagle Marquette merchandise, which is pretty much all the merch they have now left, is buy one, get one free. So we bought a couple of things. Also pretty cool, I spotted at Doc's, is the 250 Years of Freedom poker chips. So I had to get one of those. Of course, I got two of those because I donated one to the Quest for 650. That might throw things off because now she's got two poker chips from Doc's. But I don't know. And all right, I'm going to go on this while we're talking about the Harley Davidson Motor Company and all their cool things and etc. Have you guys seen this? Now, when I stopped at House of Harley to replace my beanie that I had thought I lost, and that's the whole reason we stopped that day. They had these hoodies. I don't know if you've seen them. I've seen them at multiple Harleys now, but they have like a bandana sewn in the front. So it's like a mask. So it covers it up when you put the hood on. And I didn't think I was going to like it. So I didn't buy one. I just bought a regular hoodie. And Breaker bought one. And she wore it. And I'm like, well, maybe that's not as bad as I thought it was. So I ordered one. Because we had actually been down to Hot Rod in Muskegon. And they said something about, I remember when we had those. Like it was something that they used to carry in the past and Harley stopped doing them or something because they didn't have any. So I went online and ordered one from the House of Harley and it was delivered and I wore it and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is freaking awesome. This is like the greatest thing for when it's cooler outside and you're riding. So I went here shortly, not long ago, I was going to buy another one. And I hadn't planned to go to Muskegon or anything like that. So I just jumped online and found one from Maroney's in New York. Maroney's Harley Davidson in New York. And I ordered it. So I had two just because I wanted two. They're identical. I mean, they're the same gray, but they have, now I seen a blue one I want to say it was at Doc's when we were there. And I wish I would have bought that. Kind of kicking myself because then I would have three. But I figured two is good. They are awesome. So if you don't have one and you are looking for something to wear when it's a little bit cooler out, go to Harley, buy one of these hoodies. They're awesome. I did see a similar one at Tees and Things over at Steel Horse Ranch. If you can't find one of the Harley ones, hers are a little bit different, but it's the same concept, which I think they're cool. They have a drawstring in the hood, so you can tighten the mask part of it up around your face if it's too much. I think it's one of the coolest pieces of riding gear that I bought in a while. That's just me. I don't know. Go to Harley, check them out. They're like $100. I love mine. Like I said, I have two of them now. And heck, if I see another one, I might buy another one. I should have bought the one at Doc's. So yeah, definitely check those out from Harley. I almost wish I was getting commission on it, but so that's what I have. That's what I wanted to kind of vent about a little bit. Been working on the Road Glide a little bit here and there, getting it a little bit more set up for me. I added the tie-down brackets to the front forks because of my anticipation of having to travel across the Lake Michigan in August for our trip to Sturgis. So August, I think the 16th we'll be leaving on a Sunday. We're going to leave. We're going to take the boat across and leave Wisconsin sometime Monday. We have a possibility of having an appointment there. So we might leave after the appointment and basically run to Sioux Falls. That's the day one destination. It's like 400 some miles, 7 hours of saddle time. And I think if we leave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the latest, we should be good to go. Of course, we're chasing the sunset, so that works to our advantage as far as not riding in the dark. I think we should be good. I'm still fine-tuning the route, but yeah, that is my plan. And then day 2, which would be the Tuesday or Monday, depends how things roll into place. We'll head to our VRBO and lead. I know we're not going to be there during the actual rally, but I have been told that the week after is still pretty active, so that's good. So I have another project I'll be working on the Road Glide here, and I'm going to do some video of it. Our friends at Eagle Lights sent me a light. I'm going to mount on there. I'm going to wire it into my switch panel on the Road Glide, so it looks all factory and custom. And that'll be happening here in the next couple weeks, I think. I might tackle it this weekend. I got to lay it all out and look and see how involved I'm going to get in this. I bought some mesh grill insert things also. If you notice on the Road Glide, they have the air vent coming up by the headlights. I'm going to put some mesh, steel mesh in there, so it, I don't know, look cooler. It's not really going to stop too much. Maybe some bigger bugs, but yeah. That's my projects for the Road Glide here. I think that's going to pretty much wrap up what I'm going to do to it this year. I still haven't put my Legends suspension on it yet in the back. I don't know if I'm gonna. I might wait. I might hold off, and I don't know, because it doesn't ride bad. Honestly, with being only 2 years old, it doesn't have the dumpy air suspension that the Ultra had, so it rides pretty good. So I think right now, something new that we haven't done, I do have some affiliate sponsors, Eagle Lights and Beanie Helmets. And, if you use the code Mid-Michigan Biker, you get a discount on your stuff. And we appreciate them. And hopefully you guys are buying stuff from them and using that code. I do get a little kickback from it. I don't even know if I have gotten anything. I don't really pay that close of attention. But every little bit helps. So hopefully it helps you out, saves you a little bit of money, and it kicks a little money to the podcast. So that's all good. But we do have, if you listened last week, you'll know, we had our first time a mid-roll sponsor. So we have Behind Bars Cycle Works is our new sponsor of the show, or a additional sponsor of the show, along with our good friends at Christensen Law. So yeah, I'm gonna cut in right now and pay some bills with our mid-roll.
Riding season's wrapping up. Real riders know that's when the work starts. At Behind Bars Cycle Works in Caro, they're wrenching, tuning, and tricking out bikes all winter long. 3-hole oil changes, tune-ups, tires, clutches, full annual services. They keep your machine mean. Want to go lower, louder, or flat out wicked? They do air rides, sound systems, custom engineering, and fabrications that turn heads. Don't park it and forget it. Call 989-455-1187 or roll into Behind Bars Cycle Works at 1965 Mertz Road, Caro. When spring hits, you'll ride ready.
So you might notice a little bit of silence here and there with this. I'm still figuring out the whole mid-roll placement thing. It will get better as time goes on, I promise you. But hopefully, if you're looking for some work done, be sure to go to Behind Bars Cycle Works. Great people. They do great work. I personally have had my bike worked on there, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to go back here and talk a little bit about what we had going on. We went to the spring run. I talked about that before. Oh, we had the Blessing of the Bikes in Baldwin. The Blessing Fest. So yeah, the Blessing Fest in Baldwin. I was off Friday. So this was like I guess it starts on Thursdays now. Maybe even Wednesday night. The Blessing Fest. Typical. Nothing's really changed except for maybe where some of the vendors are. It's still the Blessing of the Bikes. Don't get it. I don't know. The Chamber of Commerce or somebody want to kind of break it up a little bit. So it's the Blessing Fest is happening. I'm just going to say Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then the actual blessing happens on Sunday. Although the Blessing Fest vendors and stuff are still in place on Sunday. We went over on Friday, hooked up with our fellow Patriot Saints at our usual camping location. We are lucky enough to have friends that allow us to use the property and party and have fun and be safe. While we were waiting on Friday for some of us that couldn't, I don't know if they didn't want to get up or what. We had talked about leaving town at like noon. Breaker and I were able to leave at noon. Our friends were not, and they ended up showing up to the dance late. Which, I mean, fine, whatever. It's, it's fun. It's supposed to be a fun, relaxing thing, but it gets a little stressful for road captains and people that are planning rides because we didn't really plan a ride on Friday because nobody knew when anybody was showing up. That's fine. We did end up taking a little ride. We rode up to Loggers in Luther, where we had a snack or appetizer and adult beverage, and of course, just kind of enjoyed each other's company. It'd been a little while since we all got to hang out. Then we rode to Reed City. Scooter, in typical road captain of the Patriot Saints fashion, made a right turn down a closed road, so we ended up having to turn around. I think it was his little way to pay homage to PP. I don't know. Anyways, we ended up going into Reed City to the Buckboard Saloon, I believe it is. A nice little tavern. We just had a beverage, and then we went down to Sonny's. Sonny's is a little bit more updated, I'm going to say. Good place to hang out. We hung out there for a little bit. I ran into riding with Brendan. I ran into Brendan. Of course, I went BS with him for a little bit. We're, even though we're I don't know what we are. We're just coexistent in the podcast world. We podcast about the same stuff. He has a little bit different style than I do. He does a lot of video, which I haven't done, but it's coming, folks. It's kind of the way things are headed. You're going to see more podcast footage with video attached on our YouTube. I haven't done a live in a while, and we'll probably do a couple lives. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff that we're working on. Since I've moved again, I moved from the original podcast studio in Branch to the secondary location in Ludington at Sherman Oaks. Now I'm at the third location with Breaker. And while I have my necessities here, it's not totally like my old studio. It works, and I'm not unhappy about it at all. But like I said, the more video stuff is coming. And for that, I may move to the Patriot Saints Clubhouse to give it a more biker feel. That's kind of what my plan is. And if that happens, then I'm going to probably have a pretty steady co-host with Rhino, which is always cool. He's entertaining, to say the least. So anyways, back to the Blessing Fest. Yeah, and actually, Brendan had Marlene from the AMVETS on talking about the blessing, and I did not do that this year because everyone else already did. And I hate to beat a dead horse, so I just didn't. But I'm going to talk about the Blessing Fest because I didn't go to the actual blessing. Friday night while we were at camp after we had our ride, some of our crew went into Baldwin on their own because they weren't there when we left for our little ride. And they came back and there was a mishap. Not sure exactly what happened. Sparky ended up running the back of Salty Dog and wiped out and bent up her bike a little bit, and just scary thing. It's always scary to see a bike go down. It's even scarier when it's one of your guys or girls that goes down. And you know the saying, there's those that have been down and those that are going down. That's pretty much it. I don't know the details of what happened. And thankfully they weren't going fast. There was no major injuries. She got a fractured collarbone or something, and her bike's a little banged up, but I think we are going to fix it, the crew, because it looks like it's something that we could probably do and save her some money. So that is the plan. You might even see some video on that because that would be pretty cool. Everyone's good. Everyone was back on bikes the next day. So that was always encouraging to know that you're not freaked out that much where you're not going to get back on a bike. Of course, she was riding backpack, but again, that's good. She was gung-ho enough to get back on the bike. So that was a little bit of a wake up, I think, for some of us. Definitely, we talked about it around the campfire that night. So, yeah. Saturday, we did our ride, because usually on Saturdays, we do a ride. There there was a different feel to the ride this year because I think a lot of it was because of what happened Friday night. And that's good. That's fine. We went to, I forget the name of the place. Rooster, I don't know. I think it was the Rooster Saloon or something like that. In Canadian Lakes, I think, is where it was at. I mean, I can look it up here. Hold on. It was a cool stop. Yeah, the Rooster Saloon, Chippewa Lake. That's where it was. The Rooster Saloon. The poor staff there got overwhelmed because I think there was 10 or 12 of us that walked in all at once, and it was a bit much. But she handled it well and got us our beverages, and all was good. Again, definitely a nice place to stop. Good, friendly service. I highly recommend it if you're in the area. And then we took another little bit of a ride to I can't remember it. Man, my damn mind is like lost lately. Yeah, Wright's Last Chance Saloon in Hawkins. Now, if you've never been to Hawkins, there's like nothing much in Hawkins. I, being a former Coca-Cola employee, actually delivered to Hawkins General Store, which is next door to the saloon, which isn't even a store anymore. It was totally taken over by the Outlaws and a couple of their support clubs, which I thought it was cool as hell. We come over the hill and there's all these bikes there. That is just cool that there's that much support. I loved it. There was a few of them in the bar, which was cool. Of course, we're just a simple RC, so they don't pay us any attention at all, which I'm fine with. And of course, due to my upbringing as a kid, my dad was, I don't know, if he was somebody who was a joiner and follower like that, he probably would have joined the Outlaws in Milwaukee. But he preferred to just kind of hang around with those guys and ride with those guys, so that was kind of his role. They gave him shit because he had a Honda, and of course they all had Harleys. But listen to the stories, and that Honda pulled them Harleys. That was back in the EMF days. The stories I've heard told, and growing up and remembering these guys showing up, all the bikers at the house when we lived in Pulaski. They'd show up for the weekend or whatever, and half the time they were watching me while my mom and my dad and the rest of the people took off. And yeah, the old ladies were there watching me. So it was, an interesting childhood nonetheless. So I have a sympathetic soft spot for the Outlaws. It's just because of the past. So it's always cool to see a bunch of them, Anyways. Yeah, so that was our, we went there, and then we were going to go to Woody's, which is, Blessing of the Bikes weekend commonplace. You got to go to Woody's. We ended up just going downtown, or heading to town. And we were south of town, so we went and parked at Houseman's there to check out the vendors. And I got to say, I don't know what's going on, but I heard some talk about them wanting them to camp somewhere else, or I don't know. There was some crap there, so a lot of the vendors were not there. which was kind of disappointing. There were still some vendors there, but not nearly as many as there had been in the past. So that was different. When we went to leave, we were going to go up into town by the trout and see the rest of the vendors. Blah blah blah. Probably would have stopped and had another beverage somewhere, but there were actually 2 accidents between us and town. They had blocked that section of the 37 off because they were taking care of that. So we opted to just go back to camp that day, which was kind of a bummer, but yeah. So we went back to camp, and then it was Medic's birthday, so we had to do a Jaeger bomb shot with him. Because I don't know, because Scooter likes Jaeger bombs, and for some reason we ended up doing that. But yeah, we did that, and then Breaker and I decided that Turtle was going to ride home, and we would just ride with Turtle home and call it a weekend. Like I said, the little incident on Friday night, I think, kind of put a damper on a lot of people's spirits for the weekend, mine included. Yeah. We did go back Sunday morning. We jumped on the bikes and went back into downtown because Breaker, if you aren't aware, last year did a couple of the Thunder Roads Bike Nights, biker games, and won twice. The first 2 of them, I think, Buckley and at Silver Bullet. And she won, of course, $50 online gift certificates to Michigan Bike Life. Well, she's not an online shopper. Not big on online shopping. So she didn't use them, and they expired at the end of the year. But I told her, no, I'm sure Carl will honor them still. He's a stand-up guy. We'll go talk to him. So we did. We went in, and kind of specifically our goal was to find Michigan Bike Life and talk to Carl. I haven't talked to him in a while, just because he's busy and I'm busy, and every once in a while we run into each other at the Blessing or something. Day of Thunder, we hang out a little bit, and he's just, I mean, he's built quite the brand with the Michigan Bike Life skull, and I'm just excited for him, and I just love seeing the success that he's had from that. It's just cool. So we went and we talked to Carl, and of course he honored it because that's just good business. And Carl is a good guy, and he knows business. So she bought some stuff. He did show me the new collaboration with, and I'm waiting for the weather to warm up now so I can wear it. It's pretty cool, really thin, breathable material shirt, like a golf shirt. So I'm excited to wear it. Check it out. Go on their website. Run into him at one of these events that he's at. You won't be disappointed. The Michigan Bike Life stuff is good stuff. Yeah, last year he gave me a flannel. Here, try this. It's our new color or something, and it's one of my favorite flannels. It didn't shrink. My Harley flannels, they shrank. So I don't buy Harley flannels anymore. I buy Dixon's, and now I have a Michigan Bike Life one that I got, and it doesn't shrink. So, I mean, I'm set on flannels. So yeah, be sure to check out Michigan Bike Life. Like I said, good stuff. Yeah, I think that's all I got this week. Not much going on. Memorial Day weekend. Like I said, I'm thinking about tearing into the bike. It's a kid weekend for us. There was talk of possibly a little road trip on Monday with Turtle. He might go pick up Karma. He wants that bike bad. Mike, I know you're listening, dude. He wants that bike bad. You may see us on Monday. I don't know. I don't know what we would do. I would ride over. That's the thing. We would have to, somebody would have to drive over and drive back. And that someone's not going to be me because I'm going to ride. But somebody would have to because he would want to ride it back, I think. If he gets it. And then we got to figure out a spot to put it because we already got 3 bikes in the garage. So that's just, all right. I digress. Hope everybody has a good Memorial weekend. Get out there, enjoy some of this nice weather. We're finally getting here in northern Michigan. Stay tuned to the podcast. I got some exciting guests coming up. I'm working diligently to keep the content fresh and new. Be looking for videos because that's coming. I've got some ideas, folks. I've got some ideas. But that's all I got for you now. So life is short. Get after it. Thanks for listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. Remember, bikers, life is short. Get after it.